effect for 2020, but I don't remember this many complaints about it until the World Indoor Championships. And you knew there was just going to be some sort of controversy because there wasn't a ton of DQs. People, for the most part, Gordon, stayed in their lanes this year. This was not the DQ fest of 2018 that I know you witnessed in person. So let me just quote from the World Athletics release when this came out. It says, under the new technical rule, it will be a failure on takeoff if any part of the takeoff shoe or foot breaks the vertical plane of the takeoff line. It was felt that this would be more understandable and simpler to judge. So what you have is, in layman's terms, basically someone's foot behind the mark, but as they roll up on their toe to take off, a portion of their foot crosses the vertical plane and it is being ruled a foul. Now, if you are, I don't even know if you could say a casual fan of track and field. You could be a serious fan of track and field and not have known this rule and basically said, no, you look at where the foot plants, and if it's not over the board, you are good to go. But now they're judging the vertical plane. I don't understand the second part of that sentence where it says this makes it simpler to judge. I don't know how anybody could look at this and say this makes it easier. This clearly makes it more difficult because you're judging things on a vertical plane. What do you think about this rule?
Well, my thing is like, I guess this would be like, you know, those like, they're like these shoes that have like a curl. They like curl up. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like alligator type
Yeah.
shoes, and like the tips curl up. If someone were be playing a basketball game and they're standing next to the 3-point line and the toes curl up, so technically their foot isn't touching the line, but it's above the line, but it's not touching the actual line. Is that technically across the line? I don't know. Like, does vertical plane need to? I see the reasoning but it also just doesn't make sense. It's like we're overcomplicating it here.
Yeah.
You know,
Here's a quote from Carl Lewis on Twitter. The rules committee for the IAAF has destroyed the field events. They're an embarrassment to this and any sport. They have no F, pound sign, percentage sign, ampersand, at clue about any of these events. This makes no sense. And we went down this road in the 1980s. Who brings these ideas up in the first place? Tim Hutchings, the commentator, had a good tweet about it as well, breaking it down. Yeah, I think it's just incredibly confusing to people. And we have a lot of technology to measure like fouls. And this makes it really difficult to do. Like you could, have a board that's pressure sensitive, right? And could tell you, hey, what spot was this person on when they took off? I mean, everybody has different jumping styles as well. So I can imagine some people can get all of the board, right? Can take off perfectly, but just the way their foot placement is going to be flagged for fouls. I mean, there were consequential jumps. There were medal winning jumps in this competition that were called back because of this. I think it's not the right move. I think they should.
I think there's going to be a situation too where your foot's going to. There's going to be a situation where your foot crosses the vertical plane, but the bottom of your foot has left the ground, but you can't tell yet. So technically, you're off the ground now, so you're allowed to cross the vertical plane because you're now in the air, but maybe your foot still looks like it's touching the ground. So they're going to be like, oh, foul, because you're crossing the vertical plane. It's like,
yes.
Well, now you're going to have the debate whether or not your foot's off the air or not.
Exactly. So now you have to look at two things. Is your foot off the air, and did it cross the vertical plane? I mean, this reminds me of the NFL catch rules a few years ago, where it's like, all right, 7 things need to be happening, Bill, for this to be a catch. He needs to have the ball, makes a football movement, 2 feet need to be, and it's just like, let's just simplify this. And this is easier to understand, this should be, than a catch, right? Like what we're putting
Yeah,
up
let's
right now.
zoom in on that
That
right. Let's zoom in on the right photo, if you can.
that is a clean jump. That
So
is a
this was
clean jump. That is a perfect jump.
this was deemed not clean, right?
It's a foul.
Yeah. Okay. So if we zoom in more on the right foot, enhance. We need more enhancement on the right foot. Enhance. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So they're
Gordon's like, this
saying,
proves that
okay,
Coleman.
here we go. Enhance. So they're saying that the tip of the toe crossed the vertical plane, but I'm saying, hey,
Yes.
they're off the ground, so they're in the air. So this
Mhm.
isn't a foul. How do you know that their foot is still touching the white plate? You can't tell that. There looks like there's separation between the bottom of the foot and the ground. You got to cross the vertical plane eventually if you're going to long jump, right? This isn't high
Yeah.
jump. This is horizontal jump. So you got to go across the vertical plane eventually. And
Well,
yeah, so
people are going to be jumping 10 centimeters back of the board, just terrified to foul now. And the marks are going to suffer because of it. This is not good. They don't need to make this more complicated. I feel like the jumps, man, like the 3 the elimination rules last year in the Diamond League too. They are always changing the jump rules. I will say that. They're making things quite complicated for them. All right. But again, I mean, no, not. I mean, were there any running out lane infringement DQs? I mean, I know there had to have been at least one, but was there anything
I don't know.
of
I
that
wasn't
nature at
keeping track
Worlds?
as much. I wasn't keeping
But I'm
track to
saying
that the way I did in 2018.
there was no controversy about it, is what I'm saying. There
Correct.
wasn't
Yeah.
a race where 6 people got DQ'd or whatever. Yeah.
DQ'd. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that part, that part was better. I guess the big officiating controversy happened at NCAA's with that men's 60. That was the one where